All right, welcome back. Bob Pompeani, Chris Mueller with you. Chris, I want to get into Baker Mayfield just because, he's been around now, although he's had a lot of different coaches and offensive coordinators, but it's his show in Cleveland. Has he shown you the capability of winning a game by himself? To me, when the run game goes, he can be very effective as sort of a compliment to him. But if the Steelers do stuff that run game and he's left to throw the ball 45 times, can he win a game?
I guess you always have to answer that with yes, they can. Because, any guy that's a starting quarterback in this league and that has that kind of pedigree, I think has to have the talent to do it. But in his case, that is suboptimal, to say the least. He functions best, frankly, when he's like a shorter version of Ryan Tannehill, right? They run the ball really well. They have play action going. He's got an unbelievable arm. And if he has the time and he has those kind of favorable matchups, I think he can really hurt a team. We've seen him really hurt teams. Tennessee, as a matter of fact, ironically enough. The physical skills are there. I think his legs, if the Browns are going to win this game, are going to have to be a factor. He's going to have a couple effective scrambles. The arm strength is there. Like, all the measurable talent is there. But that's a long gulf from having all that and then actually implementing it when your back is against the wall and a team makes you play left-handed or one-dimensional. Yeah. So I would be extremely skeptical of their chances to win if the run game isn't going.
And we saw his legs actually help him last week in Cleveland with that big 20-yard gain, and there were a few other opportunities for him as well. Let's go to the lines. George joins us on line one. Hey, George, how are you? George, turn your TV down, please. Go ahead.
Look, Mom, on TV.
All right,
George,
thank you very much. You can call again whenever you figure out. Turn that TV down and turn your phone
I thought it
up.
only happened on radio.
No,
Pop,
no.
I thought it only happened on radio. Come on.
It happens a lot. All right, before I go to our next caller, I want to ask you also about a big win for Pitt tonight. A lot of people didn't see it because it was on the ACC network. But, man, it's impressive when you consider that Justin Champagnie did not play. 3 of their top 6 scorers did not play. Jeff Capel wasn't even at the game. They've had COVID issues. They put this game together. They were down 18 at a place where they haven't won in a while. Chris, that's a pretty good win for Pitt.
It is. It's one of those ones, one of the few where I think the lack of a crowd being allowed to be in the building really helped Pitt. Because if there's 28,000 cold, miserable people from Syracuse who have nothing better to do screaming their heads off in this game, hi, Pony, then I think it's a lot tougher to come back. It was a nice little gut check win, though. Anytime you come from 18 down to beat a team that had been scoring like Syracuse, I think they came in at 84 points a game. I think that says something. And granted, with just how few people saw it, like you said, the weird time of day, just a general big news day, obviously, in other respects, it is going to fly low under the radar. But to me, it's a character builder and a program builder, not like in some dramatic, grandiose sense, but the guys who were on the floor who got that done are going to remember the fact that they got it done, and it's going to build belief for them.
No question. They'll have Syracuse again coming to Pittsburgh here not too soon. I think that's next weekend, if everything goes well, and they're going to be angry about that one, and I'm sure Boeheim will be as well. Let's go to Skip, who joins us on line 2. Hey, Skip.
Hey, Bob.
What's up?
I'm going to change the pace here for a different question. My family's had season tickets to Steelers since 1962, and I was one of the lucky ones that got in the lottery, and I'm one of the 5,000 fans that can go to the game this weekend. However, I haven't heard anything from the governor or the Steelers. What's going on? Have you guys been looking into that?
Yeah, but I haven't heard a thing either. And I thought by now maybe they were a little distracted today because of what went on in the Capitol. But, look, I thought we'd hear something. Chris, I don't know about you, but I haven't heard a thing about that. I know also family, friends, some suite holders, but beyond that, I haven't heard. You?
I think the number I keep hearing that the Steelers are hopeful they'll get in the building is something like 6,500 total.
Right.
That's the high-end number that I've been hearing. I'll be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if it's not until Friday or even Saturday morning, since it's a Sunday night game, that you get some sort of final decision on the process.
Yeah, I know, but that's a little late in the proceedings. They should have figured out by now, if they're coming back and the restrictions have been lifted to some degree, then they should have an idea by now, and I'm surprised it hasn't happened. Let's go to Jan and Gibsoni. Oh, well, we're going to go to Brad and Punxsutawney. Jan, drop. Brad, you're up.
Hey, guys, how you doing?
We're good.
Hey, I was fortunate enough to watch the game on the ACC network today, and I really want to tip my cap to Capel for the adjustments they made at halftime. Once again, you knew Boeheim's 2-3 zone was gonna cause some problems, and they fell behind by 18 in the first half, and just were all perimeter. And in the second half, they started using the high post a little bit. Got a lot better looks, got a lot higher percentage shots. And I really like the adjustments they made tonight. And hopefully, it's like I think one of you guys said already, as far as a character win, we played shorthanded and we were able to find a way to get a win. And hopefully these guys start to come back from COVID and the other injuries.
Yeah, I think you're right. And it is a character win. Anytime you could win, I don't care where it is, especially there of all places. And I think it's a good point you brought up, Chris, with no crowd. But still, you're down 18. You're missing 3 of your top scorers, including Champagny, who, if I'm not mistaken, was averaging, 18 points a game? And
I mean, he's their best player, and he would have been their best threat to bust a zone like that. I'll say this about the crowd thing. I brought it up as a thing that helped them. It also, though, when you're on the road, when you have a couple more veteran guys like an Xavier Johnson, I think feeding off of the crowd not wanting you to win can actually help propel you. So the fact that they kind of ginned it up out of nowhere is also impressive in its own right, because there was nothing to feed off of.
Here's an interesting tweet from Tom Pallone Sr. You can tweet us at KDPomp, at Chris Mueller PGH. He says, what do you guys think? Why would Stefanski not be permitted to call plays remotely? A lot of people have asked that question. I think technology-wise, you probably could, but first of all, he's the guy who's in the headset and talking to Baker Mayfield. There's no way you can set that up, I don't think, remotely, even with all the technology issues. And, it's not like he did anything on a disciplinary reason that he should be not able to do it. Whatever they decide is what they've decided, and no coach is allowed to do that if you're out with COVID. But I think it would be hard to do, Chris, don't you? You'd have to have a relay system in place.
Well, I think here's the problem, main problem. You could do it if you were going to permit Kevin Stefanski with COVID to somehow be in like a sealed luxury box at the stadium, a sealed suite. And with the NFL's resources, they probably could pull that off. I think most people would agree. If they want to do something like that, they can. But it would be a very bad look for the league to say, well, we're going to let a COVID-positive guy for sure. We know he has COVID. It's not, he's playing in the game and he might test positive tomorrow. We're going to let a COVID-positive coach sit in the stadium, flout all of the things we've been saying we're going to do because we want to let him call plays. I think that's the reason why it's not going to happen, because I think you're right. It's technology that's the problem. He's in there. He's in the headset until, 15 seconds left? I think
right.
Dan Orlovsky was on with our morning show and said that, you've got about an 8-second window to call the right play and figure it out. That's how complicated it is. Well, guess what? You can't do that with a relay system.
And here's the other thing. If you're watching at home, and he will be at home apparently watching, or someplace not at that stadium, there is a 10-second delay on television coverage. What happens at the stadium, you'll see 10 seconds later at home. So that's really difficult to try to manage. So they did the best thing there, and they have people they're going to have to just figure out how to do it. And Alex Van Pelt is one of the guys in the middle of that. So we'll see what. And Ben Roethlisberger said today, I found interesting, that he does believe it's a big deal not to be able to hear from a coach. So what happens, we'll find out. Now it's time for our Tri-State Office Finisher tweet of the day. We'll talk to Craig Meyer from the Post-Gazette with this one. He says, Pitt, after trailing by 11 with 5:30 left, comes back to beat Syracuse. We discussed. The win snaps a 7-game losing streak to the Orange, made all the more impressive by the Panthers without 3 of the top 6 scores. I didn't know it was 11 by 5:30. I knew they were down 18, but that's only 5 minutes left. That's a lot of possessions you got to make up, and they did it with good defense. Actually, if you watch them, defense led to offensive opportunities. We're going to take a break, come back with more. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call right here on Pittsburgh CW.